hands up, those who found people. Okay, thank you. The next one was find someone who was the head girl or head boy of her last school. Oh, you found them. Hands up again. Head boy. Okay, Zach, thank you. The next one, find someone who had a haircut in the last 2 weeks. Okay, you found them? Okay, thanks. Thank you. The next one was find someone who participated in the Coke Games, the last Coke Games. Okay, I won't ask for the decision later. Find someone, last one, find someone who wants to stand in the upcoming elections 2018. Okay, thanks, a lot of hands up. This is the first place we've done the workshop where a lot of hands have gone up. Yeah? In a strategic plan, so that you are able to do these workshops yourself, the resource mobilization. So that is one of the reasons for this workshop also, that you're able to handle this. Okay. So participants are required to work in groups. The first, and we can see there, number one is, what is it? We have our official photograph. We have our official photograph outside. After the official photograph, then we will have tea, green tea.
I'm very privileged to be here at this opening of this youth forum, and I have to say that looking around the room I see young faces representing the very rich spectrum of Fiji's cultural and ethnic diversity, and I think we also have a very good mix here of people, young people from urban and rural areas of Fiji. Talking about diversity, I want to recall the words of the great leader Nelson Mandela from South Africa, who spoke about his country, South Africa, as a rainbow nation. I think Fiji is also a rainbow nation, and I like that term because it puts away anything about divisiveness, and it really focuses, the rainbow is a very beautiful thing, and it emphasizes beauty and richness and opportunity. UNDP is so very pleased to partner with the government of Fiji through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the National Youth Council of Fiji to jointly support youth's stronger engagement, and particularly around the exciting period that we're living of starting before the elections and now in the post-election period. Youth participation in formal decision-making is critical to the prosperity and stability of any nation. And governments should really proactively look to open up opportunities for young people to have their voices heard in national decision-making. And that's not only for the cause of young people, but it's for the good of the country, because youth make such a high proportion of Fiji's population that if you ignore that creativity, that energy, those ideas, then the country as a whole is really losing out. Now, Fiji is fortunate in that it already benefits greatly from the tremendous contributions of youth like you in a myriad of different ways, whether you are teachers or service providers in private and public sector, as healthcare personnel, farmers in villages and communities. Some youth are contributing importantly to UN peacekeeping missions in crisis spots around the world. And I've also had a chance to meet many youth volunteers that are doing fantastic work in helping those that really need that extra support. So that as well, I think, needs to be recognized. You may know that September is a very special month for the United Nations. This month, later this month, all governments of the world, including Fiji, are going to be meeting in New York to adopt a new development agenda. It's called the Sustainable Development Goals Agenda, or SDG Agenda. And it's very important because it comes to replace what you may have heard of, which was the Millennium Development Goals Agenda that was adopted in 2000. But this agenda will guide countries for the next 15 years, and it's more ambitious than the MDG agenda. It covers a range of issues with very strong commitments on issues ranging from gender equality to governance and peace and stability to climate change and protecting the oceans, and we can share much more information with you about that. But Fiji, of course, coming back from that big summit with all of the governments, will also be looking to see what do we do here in this country to achieve that agenda over the next 15 years? What needs to change? What do we need to strengthen? What do we need to do more? So I think that this is a very important time for young people, and it's very timely for young people to have a reflection on how are you going to be part of the work to achieve that SDG agenda here in Fiji. And so, you know, this forum is a moment, you know, can be also an opportunity for introspection, for you to be asking, how can we contribute? Can we contribute more in better ways? And what support do we need to have a strong say on our country's future direction as a democratic state? Now, UNDP's mandate is really to facilitate processes that lead to equitable and sustainable development that involves everyone, all sectors of the society. But we put a special focus on those who are marginalized, who have more difficulty to have their voices heard. So certainly to some extent it's true that youth also need that extra boost of support, but we also put a very strong focus on young girls and also on young people with special needs, and also on young people that live in the most remote areas. I had a chance to visit Rotuma recently, and where there was also a wonderful youth workshop, and those young people that are so disconnected, feel sometimes disconnected, also need that extra help. So the workshop that will be conducted here today and also tomorrow and in Lambasa, and there are other workshops planned in Taveuni and Levuka and Rakiraki, really offer a platform for young people to have a good discussion, to have an exchange of views. It's an opportunity to really encourage leadership, your leadership as young people in communities, but also it's an opportunity to be asking how can we get greater accountability from those in leadership position to open up spaces and to empower you and your voices. So the workshops will focus on strengthening knowledge and understanding on what is leadership about, what does it mean, and participating in decision-making processes. How does it work? What are the entry points? And also, you can discuss some solutions to issues that bother you, particularly as young people, that are very youth-specific. There's also going to be a special session on youth and health, and you will learn about some of the challenges that youth in Fiji face concerning health issues, and what are some ways to enable youth to overcome and find solutions. So I just want to thank again the government of Fiji for this good partnership, and the National Youth Council, and the facilitators, of course, and all of you present here. And of my UNDP colleagues also who have helped to organize this. And I really look forward to getting a first-hand account on what comes out, what the outcomes are of your discussions. And I want to reassure you of our commitment to continue to support you. Thank you so much. And I wish you a very productive workshop. Thank you for
that presentation. I shall now ask Mr. Josefa Sania, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to officially open the three-day conference. Thank you.
It is indeed a great pleasure to be here this morning representing the ministry. I must first of all apologize on behalf of the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, Mr. Laisenia Tutumbo, who couldn't make it this morning because of an official engagement in the interior of Votualevu. Again, as we meet at this workshop, we continue to collaborate and put in efforts in empowering our youth populace on leadership and position and positive decision making. It is our collective prayer that after these rounds of workshops, we will stimulate growth and maturity that will produce positive outcomes deriving from consolidated and strengthened capacities of youths, its current crop of leaders, and possibly youth practitioners as well. I must again reiterate that empowering and building the capacity of youths should be treated with utmost importance and should be awarded due attention at all levels of the community. It is through such initiatives and collaborations that we as partners and agencies display our honor and support towards young people of our communities, enabling them to fulfill their essential role in creating sustainable societies. Youth engagement, empowerment, and capacity building are essential for building a more just, sustainable, and peaceful nation and the world. I encourage you all to maximize this forum as an opportunity to discuss key challenges facing youth in Fiji, particularly in the rural areas, and how targeted solutions can be established to addressing youth issues. How we can provide solutions that will motivate and empower youths to take charge of today's challenges and don't wait for tomorrow to come. We need to provide tangible solutions that are applicable and practicable today and not tomorrow. Solutions to the youth current dilemma and challenges. Solutions that will meet all aspects of youth life now. We need to provide solutions that will engage youth in all aspects of communal living, especially engaging young people in economic activities. Youths are a vital component of any nation, and Fiji has realized the important role they play in our nation's development. Government fully recognizes the fact, which has influenced it to make changes to its laws and policies that provide the impetus for maximum youth participation at national level. Never before has Fiji's youth been given the opportunity to participate in democratic decision-making. I'm adamant that this workshop, and like the many that have been conducted throughout Fiji, will connect young leaders to each other as they share experiences, best practices, and collaborate in different kinds of initiatives to empower and strengthen their youth work. I'm also adamant that they will strengthen their network of youth workers so they can develop specific projects from a wide variety of topics concerning sustainable development. Such capacity building workshops as these steps into the natural leadership skills of those in the community and acknowledges and nurtures the interest in young people to be leaders. And we, the ministry, acknowledge this partnership with the United Nations. As we dive into the workshop, we should also take stock of the community's capacity, their capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses. Capacity building creates stronger community relationships and sets the stage for the enhanced ability of community members to share ideas on a course of action. These include in creating a shared vision, a common understanding of the youth problems, leadership, and establishing collaborative partnerships, increase community participations and sustainability. We also envisage that there will be increases in abilities to set and realize common goals, which will convince the community to always have a collective appreciation and respect of the limited resources, both in human and financial terms. I would like, therefore, to wish the capacity building workshop well, that it will continue to tap into and recognize the natural leadership skills of those in the community and acknowledges and nurtures the interest in young people to be leaders, and also create in these youth an appreciation of social cohesion. Despite our diversity, and so they create programs and activities that unite everyone despite their differences. Just to conclude, I must emphasize to youth leaders and workers present here that the Honorable Minister and the Assistant Minister for Youth and Sports had visited more than 350 youth clubs around Fiji and will continue to do so in the future. These visits have influenced the way the ministry conducts its core business in youth and sports development and will do so as well in the future. Therefore, we are looking forward to hear and witness the feedback of these trainings and workshops and its results on youth leaders and most importantly in their communities. Again, I wish to thank this opportunity and thank UNDP for the support it continues to render under the Youth Transition to Democracy program. I also wish to thank the National Youth Council of Fiji for its role in coordinating arrangements for this workshop, particularly as NYCF, the National Youth Council of Fiji, continues to play its part and grow in this whole process of helping young people transition into a democracy we can all appreciate. Thank you for your attention and for this opportunity to address the opening of this workshop. Votualevu.
Well, thank you very much.